All right, let's talk about marketing. Today, we are diving deep into the one-page marketing plan by Alan Dibb. This book has been an absolute game changer for so many small businesses, and for good reason. We're going to boil down its core genius into a simple explainer that could totally transform how you find and keep new customers. Ready?
So, let's kick things off with a question that probably hits a little too close to home for a lot of business owners out there. Why do most marketing plans fail? You know the drill. You spend all this time and energy creating this gorgeous 50-page document, and then what happens? It just sits on a shelf, collecting dust. Well, the author points out it's because the whole traditional process is just way too complicated. It's not built for the fast-paced, real world that small businesses live in.
And here's where we find the biggest mistake. Small businesses look at huge brands like Nike or Coke, and they try to copy their marketing. But look at this slide. Their priorities are completely different. Big brands are playing a totally different game. They're trying to win awards, please the board, get a fancy Super Bowl ad. But for a small business, there's only one thing that truly matters: making a profit. Period. Everything else is just noise.
And this quote just nails the danger of all that noise. You see, when you try to do everything at once, branding, social media, content marketing, ads, the whole shebang, you just end up doing nothing well. You get what the author calls indigestion. You burn through all your cash and energy trying to be everything to everyone, and that is a surefire recipe for failure.
So what's the cure for all that complexity and indigestion? It's this right here, the one-page marketing plan. The author calls it an implementation breakthrough, and honestly, that's exactly what it is. It takes the entire complicated world of marketing and distills it into 9 simple, common-sense blocks on a single sheet of paper. It's practical, it's actionable, and the best part, you absolutely do not need an MBA to understand it.
So, here's our game plan. We've talked about the trap that so many businesses fall into. Now, we're going to walk through the plan itself, breaking it down into its 3 core phases: how you find prospects, how you turn them into leads, and then how you turn those leads into loyal, raving customers. Okay, so the whole plan is built around this really simple 3-act story. It follows the customer's journey with your business. You've got the before phase, that's when they're a prospect. Then there's the during phase, when they become a lead. And finally, the after phase, when they're a happy customer. Simple, right? Let's start from the top. Phase 1 is all about the prospect. Now, these are people who might not even have a clue that you exist yet. So our goal here is to get on their radar. And we do that by figuring out exactly who they are, what we should say to them, and where we can find them. Now, to make this all super concrete, let's imagine we're a B2B software company that sells project management tools specifically for small creative agencies. If you look at the plan, this is that top row, the 3 red blocks. This is where we lay the entire foundation. Seriously, if you get this part right, everything else that follows becomes so much easier. So here's the absolute key. You have to focus. For our software company, the target market isn't just all businesses. No way. It's super specific. Owners of creative agencies with 5 to 20 employees. See? That's using a laser, not a light bulb. And their message? It isn't about boring features. It's about the benefit. Stop chasing deadlines and start shipping amazing work. And where are they going to say this? On LinkedIn or in industry magazines. Not trying to do a dance on TikTok. Okay, great, you've got their attention. Now we shift into phase 2, the during phase. The goal here is no longer about just getting your name out there. Nope, now it's all about getting their name in here, into your system, so you can actually start building a real relationship. So, let's move to the middle row of our plan. These 3 yellow blocks are where we make that critical shift from just shouting a message out into the world to actually starting a one-on-one conversation. This phase is all about building systems. So our software company might capture leads by offering a free guide called The 5 Project Management Mistakes Costing Your Agency Money. Then they nurture those leads with a weekly email tip, building trust over time, and finally they make an offer to convert them to a sale. Hey, ready to fix those mistakes? Go ahead and start your free 14-day trial. You know, this whole approach is powered by something called direct response marketing. This is the complete opposite of that fuzzy, hard-to-measure branding. This is marketing where every single dollar you spend is trackable. You know exactly how many people clicked your LinkedIn ad and downloaded your guide. It's about bringing real accountability to your marketing budget. And now for the grand finale, the after phase. It's amazing how many businesses totally drop the ball right here. But listen, this is where the real profit, the real sustainable growth actually happens. This is all about transforming that first-time buyer into a lifelong raving fan of your business.
So let's look at the bottom row of our plan, the 3 green blocks. This is all about what happens after you make that first sale. And you could argue this is the most important part of the entire system.
So how does our software company pull this off? Well, first, they deliver a world-class experience with an amazing, easy-to-use onboarding process. Then they increase the lifetime value of that customer by offering a new add-on for client invoicing. And finally, they don't just hope for referrals, they build a system for it, where a customer gets a free month of service for every new agency they bring in. So you see, these 9 blocks aren't just some random checklist of tactics. They form a logical, connected system, a machine that guides someone from being a complete stranger all the way to becoming your biggest advocate. It's truly a clear and direct path to profit.
But here's the most important takeaway from the author, and maybe from this whole explainer. Understanding this plan is one thing, but the magic, the results, they only come from actually doing it. This quote says it all. If you don't act on what you know, you might as well not know it in the first place.
And this visual just ties it all together beautifully, doesn't it? You start by attracting interest from cold prospects, you capture and nurture them into warm leads, then you convert them into new customers. But you don't stop there. You deliver an incredible experience, increase their value over time, and then you build a system to get referrals. Which, what does that do? It feeds brand new prospects right back into the start of your system. It's a perfect loop.
And here's the simple financial mindset that makes it all work. The front end, that's everything you do to get that first sale, is designed just to break even on your ad costs. The goal is just to get your money back. It's the back end, all the repeat purchases and the referrals from that happy customer, that's where the real sustainable profit is actually made.
So, we'll leave you with this one last really powerful question to think about. Forget about your products, your services, your features for just a minute. Ask yourself, what is the single most valuable result you could help your customer achieve? Because the answer to that question, that's the key that unlocks this entire plan.